Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about doing some basic editing of your Oasis DMS website. Once you've logged into your dashboard and you're on this screen, we've already reviewed some of the main functions. However, you're going to now click on the tab that says Oasis Site. From the dropdown, you're going to click on Edit Oasis Site. Upon doing so, another window will pop up and start loading in your website editor. As this loads in, it will bring in a what you see is what you get screen editor, which will bring up your actual website as well as some main editing functions. So we will discover some of the editing functions and a basic overview of the layout of the Oasis editing platform. So you'll see as you scroll down this page, it is the actual website for, in this case, the Unfranchised Lifestyle DMS template. As I scroll down, you can see certain areas of the site that are getting highlighted. Let's talk about some of these features. So in the main setup of the site, you want to know that this platform is built in rows and columns. So it's set up in tables. Now, as you hover over different areas, you'll see on the left-hand side where it says row. So that will be one row of the website. And as I scroll down, you'll see another row. So the entire site is built in rows upon rows, and within the rows are built certain columns that have different content. All of this can be manipulated, but we've set up these templates to make it as easy as possible for you to get a good start. Now, other things to note is as you're scrolling down, you'll see in the middle of the sections a little plus sign. As you hover over this, it'll say Add Section. Now, when you click on the Add Section button, you'll notice on the left-hand side, we have all these pre-formatted sections and different types of areas that you can add to a website. Now, they may not fall in line with your design, your layout, your color scheme, or your fonts, but the idea is it gives you a basic starting point if you wanted to add any sections. So you can see we've got coming soon, features, about, logos, text blocks. So that might be one that we can look at. You might want to add a certain section of text within your website. So you would click on text blocks, and it's going to give you some different pre-formatted options. To add a section, you simply click on it, and then you would click on Save and add another, or you could cancel and remove that section. But again, in that sections menu, you will find all sorts of different content, whether it's text and images, maybe menu options, testimonials, various galleries and how galleries can be displayed. So that is one area that you might want to take a look at as you're building out your DMS website. Now, as we're going through this, let's talk about some other main features. On the upper left-hand corner, you'll see that we've got our logo here. It'll also show you the page that is currently being edited. In this case, it's the home page. And then there are some icons. One is for the desktop view, one is for the tablet view, and one is for the mobile device. Now, based on the editor, you are editing the page within that desktop view. Everything that you do on the desktop will then transform into the responsive nature for the tablet or the mobile device. Now, if I click on the tablet, it'll show you maybe an example of what the website will look like on an iPad. So you can see all the content is now displayed as it would be on an iPad. Now, anything that you edit here would impact the tablet view and the mobile view, but will not impact the desktop view. So you'll just know that as you're making edits to the different views, it's always going down to the smaller device, but it's never going backwards and up to the next device. So now as we go to the mobile device, you'll see what it would look like on a mobile phone. So as it loads in, this would be the mobile version of this particular page. So you can scroll down as if you were on a phone, but you can see you still have some of the same editing types of features on this, but just know that what you change on the mobile device will not change on the tablet or the desktop. So that way you can make sure that you have the best display possible across all the different devices. Now, we'll let you know that as you're customizing a site, there are two areas of a website that if you edit, will edit those globally, meaning on every single page. And one of those is the header. And if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, the other area would be the footer. So if you make changes to the header or footer content, that will be across every single page within your website. So that would be a basic overview of this editing functionality. And then once you get into certain areas, we're going to talk about how to edit text, how to edit images, how to change the formatting of the rows and columns, as well as how to add videos, and leveraging some of these other things like the widgets. But for now, let's go in and talk a little bit about global design properties. So in the design properties, this would be how every single item will act in your website as you add new content. For example, global text. When I click on global text, that would be the certain formatting of the font size, the font color, the font format, the direction, and any linking text and the colors. So if you want to have a kind of formatted default, so to speak, you could change that here, and then moving forward, all of the additional text that you add will fall in line with these global properties. Now you can also go in and change them manually within the editing process, but this gives you a way to make sure that everything is simplified and streamlined. Again, we've done the hard work for you up front setting up these templates. So you can see all the different types of maybe titles, H2 tag it's called, or smaller fonts, all the way down to how those act. So as we go back over to the global design, you'll also see buttons. Maybe as you're adding a button, do you want it to be rectangular? Or if you click this little caret here, you'll see that you've got different button styles. So that would be the default button when you add a button widget. And you can then change how those buttons behave, whether it's a certain color, the background color, the border color, the font on the text of the button. So again, this is all to make sure that as you are building out a site and making changes, that everything is streamlined and standardized to your liking. How do images act? How do rows act? The site background and site layout. Again, all of these components have already been pre-formatted to make it easy for you to get a start, but this would be going forward if you wanted to do something more in managing your website. Now, the next button here is your Pages button. As you click on Pages, this will show you all of the pages built within the website. So in this current template, we've got a home page, About Me, a product brokerage page, an unfranchised system page, an internet marketing page, a blog, a contact page, and our new digital business card, all preloaded into this design. So as you click on this, you can click on every single one of these pages, and as it loads that page, you can then X out of this little menu option to give you more space. And now you're actually on the About page. So now you can edit all of the content on the About page. Now, if we go back to the Pages menu, you can see we can do that for each and every page in your website. So you can see that we've got access to every single one of these, but I do want to call attention to the fact that this one has something grayed out and it says hidden on all. So every single one of these pages currently has a navigation menu on the website. So you can click on the little gear or the settings button so that you can then either rename the page, or you can change if it's shown in the navigation, whether it's hidden on all, hidden on the desktop and tablet, hidden on the mobile. So you have full ability to customize the menu navigation. Now, if you like how a page is designed and you want to just change the content and create a new page, you could duplicate the page, create a new page name, and then just update the content. For those who are interested in doing more search engine optimization, you can change your page titles and page descriptions here. And then, of course, if you wanted to set any access and passwords to a certain page, you could do that here. Now, if you really messed up a page and you really want to just get rid of it, you can always delete it. But what I would recommend initially as you're getting started, if you're not comfortable with it, just simply hide it on all, and then it becomes a hidden page that no one knows exists. That's also, as a tip, how you can create multiple landing pages for different marketing campaigns. So you can see you have full access to all of the pages as well as the settings of each of these. Now, in this case, we have the blog that is currently hidden. But we do have the settings where you could actually show it on every page. But this is an ability where if you wanted to use a blog, you could. You would then need to manage under the blog menu option all of the content. We have it turned off and hidden for all because as you're getting your website released, you may forget to hide it, and then you've got a blog that has random content that really doesn't speak to your particular Market America unfranchised business. And of course, your contact page, you can update all of your contact information on this page as well. Of course, your phone number, your email address, and anything else that you would like to add. So all of the pages have a certain preset number of pages with different content, but again, you can customize all of the content on here. and that brings you to the Pages menu. But I will also let you know that you can customize your own pop-ups as well, and we'll do that in a more advanced training. Other aspects of the Oasis website editor are widgets, where you can add other types of web content onto the page. We'll do a full training on widgets, as well as business content, personalization, e-commerce, blog, and any of the settings. So that gives you a quick idea of the website editor with your Oasis platform. But now let's talk about editing text and images briefly, and then we'll do another training on that specifically. So as I'm on any page, as I hover over and we see the rows and columns, you can then see as you hover over any rich text area, there's a blue border. You can actually click on that section anywhere that there's text, and now you can manage the site. You can highlight what you're looking to change, and you can then type what you're looking for. Now, at that point, you can also bold, you can underline, italicize, you can change the coloring, right? You can look at all the color schemes within the editor. You can change the font size. You can change the font type. You can do all of these things like linking. So it all becomes very similar to an email or a Word document. When you are comfortable with the changes that you have made, you would click on this little checkbox here. Unfortunately, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get out of this and not really save that in the main website. But when you close it out here, it has now made that change for you. Now, it is changed on the back end of the website, but it is not published to the live website. So you can see that you've got a little check mark here. That means it's been automatically saved. If you didn't like your edits, you can actually use the undo button, and it will undo any of the edits that you have, or you can redo them. And in this case, we're on a preview site, so it says preview, so you can take a look at what it would seem like on the internet. However, if this were your live site, you'll see a button that says republish. You would click republish if you are comfortable with your changes and you want to push that live to the internet. And that's how you make a basic text change. So that's going to be one of the first edits that you do, is to navigate across your DMS website and change any text, certainly anything that references a name or that has fake language in it. You want to make sure that you go through page by page and update that content, including as we go down to certain areas, you may want to update what your phone number and your email address. So when we click on that, you can then go in here and then make sure that you update your phone number and your email address. Click the checkbox, and then of course it's going to be auto-saved, and then you'd click republish. There are different widgets we'll get into, like the social media widgets, but again, we're just going through a basic navigation of how to edit the text on your website. Looking forward to sharing more details on how to edit your Oasis website in the furthering tutorials.